All right. Hello, guys. So I did something funny. I actually started Saturday's VIP show instead of this one, being an idiot. So I'm here now. Anyway, welcome. All right. And TikTok going live. One moment. Burp, 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 burp. There we go. All right. Jeep. All right. TikTok. Mirror your video. Bam. All right. Woo. Volume off, maybe. Is it off? There it is. All right. Hello, guys. Welcome, everybody. I'm having a little tea today since you guys said the other day I should try tea if I wanted a pick-me-up that wasn't as strong as coffee. So we shall see. Anyway, hey, Big Hawk. Hey, Robert. So welcome, guys. Welcome. John Aravosis here, dialing in from Washington, D.C., land of plenty. JD Vance did get booed today at the Olympics with his wife. That was a good thing. Yeah, good job, Europe. Good job, Europe. Woo-woo. So thank you, our European friends. Oh, thanks, Amanda. So that's good. Hopefully I'll remember to do it later. Yeah, so that was good. Oh, the play last night, I hated it. Oh my God, I hated it. Yeah, I think tea, people say tea doesn't have as much caffeine. I think it does. Although I think tea has a more subtle buzz, I think, than coffee for my taste. I hated the play last night. Oh my God. It's called like Paranormal something and Paranormal Account. It's a stupid name. I mean, it's a dumb name for the play. And it drove me insane. Some of the special effects are nice. You know, they scare you with like boom kind of stuff, but it was just dumb. I don't want to ruin it for you. And the audience was all like Gen Z. They loved it. Sold out. They loved it. And I'm watching it going, this is kind of stupid. So, you know, what do you do? Anyway. Okay. WC is saying tea tends to have less caffeine. Yeah, that's my thought. I mean, I will say for me, like, this is giving me a little buzz, but tea gives me a nice buzz. Like, it lifts me up. Like, I'm energized for the show, but it's not like coffee where I'm like, oh my God, you know, and I'm over the top, right? It's a nice... Yes, it was not Hamlet. I just think, no, it wasn't very good, period. Sasha's doing okay. Actually, her legs are better today, which is good. I mean, I think it's going to be, you know, day by day. We don't know that her legs are ever getting better, but the limp was back to normal limping today, where she like lifts her leg a little and she's fine. Whereas yesterday and the day before was terrible. I did order, because Callum recommended, I called the vet first and the vet had no objection. Some of that other stuff, again, TikTok confuses me, these rules here, but I ordered some of that other stuff that has 3 letters to see if some oil, to see if it would help a little bit. And, you know, going slow because I don't want to upset her stomach and that kind of stuff. But Callum thought it would help. And, you know, we'll see. I found one of the reputable businesses online because I'm, of course, very careful with your pet with that kind of stuff. Because I don't like it. It's sort of like it reminds me of herbs and stuff too, like all the herbs from China. There was a study years ago that a ton of the herbs from China and stuff are really dangerous. Like they've got you know, horrible pesticides and everything else in them. You know what I mean? So anyway, yeah, no. So she's sleeping right now, but I'm gonna get that stuff, you know, in the next few days and see how it works. You know, I'm gonna go low so it doesn't bother her, but we shall see. All right. Tomorrow morning, just before I get started with the news here, we've got our coffee talk in the morning. That's our coffee talk, but talk because it's TikTok and YouTube and Discord for the paid monthly subscribers. So everybody on TikTok who's an SNN, which is the super fans, we call it Sasha News Network after my dog. YouTube, Discord, same thing. Tomorrow, Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern time, US. Join us if you would. So how do you send a super fan? You sign up to be a super fan. It's basically a monthly contribution thing. TikTok established the price. I did not. I had a cheaper price. TikTok basically revamped it and put the same price for everything. But it's maybe $sign at the bottom of the screen or something, a star. Somebody want to explain on TikTok what it is? But pretty much, honestly, it's up. Thank you, Bryce. You get a goat. Pick the goat, Bryce. Basically, you're supporting the creator with a monthly contribution. Basically, you get some extra emojis. You get a little thing next to your name that says SNN, which, you know, personally, I kind of like, I mean, meaning it lets the creator know who's supporting them, which is nice. I mean, the show's free, obviously, but it's kind of nice because I can sort of, when I see people's names, I kind of go, oh yeah, Chazak is supporting. Thank you, Chazak. Stuff like that, which is nice, you know. And you get the weekend shows. I try to do a show almost every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern, a hangout just for the paid fans, the monthly fan subscribers. And I'm gonna do more of them. I sometimes do special shows for you guys during the week. I did do some breaking news in the last 2 weeks. Actually, it might have been the shooting, Alex Peretti, the murder, but we did some special, or Don Lemon. It was one of those, we did a special hangout on that too. So, all right. Oh, so what was the deal with the, thank you, Annie. I really do have to get a red scarf. What was the deal with the goat? Somebody bought the goat, a regular bought the goat. And I didn't see if you had said which goat you want, but I did see one of you got it. So let me know. We did Don Lemon. Okay, thanking flying. I thought that might have been it. Halloween. Was it you, Bryce? Okay. Halloween. One sec here. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Halloween was hiding under my thing. One more. Oh, there we go. There we go. All right, so let's start with Trump's racist meme about the Obamas. This story is kind of interesting because of how it turned out. So I'm not going to show you. I did put a TikTok video up. I worry about these lives because TikTok censors things, so I'm not going to show you the meme. Trump posted an image at the end of a video of the Obamas as monkeys, which is about as racist as it gets. What's kind of interesting about it is that a bunch of Republicans, including a lot of Republican senators, came out and criticized Trump over it. Republicans don't do that. They typically when they get asked about Trump's racist or otherwise insane ramblings, they go, I can't respond to every tweet, or I didn't see that. This time they all came out and criticized him. Well, Trump ended up having to delete the tweet, which is interesting. He didn't apologize. He didn't say anything. He said nothing about it. Before Trump deleted it, Caroline Leavitt, remember Caroline Leavitt, little Miss Christian, right? Blonde hair, White House spokeswoman. She came out and said that it's, I'm a dark chocolate person, Nutter Butter. She came out and said that it was a fake outrage, that people were doing fake outrage. She defended it. She defended depicting Barack and Michelle Obama as monkeys, as gorillas. Okay. She called it fake outrage. Well, the White House now is spinning it as Trump is very disappointed in the staffer who did this. Some staffer did it. Oh, really? I didn't know that Trump was so out of it that he didn't know staffers were putting things out in his name. That's interesting. But he claims some staffer did it. Okay, great. Trump is outraged. And the White House staff is outraged. That was the other thing. They're outraged. Yeah. Trump is outraged by racism, and the White House staff, especially, are really outraged by racism. Okay, whatever. Thank you, Carrie. Then why wasn't the staffer fired? Why wasn't the staffer fired? Right? I mean, if the White House is outraged that one of their staffers would promote some of the worst racism on the planet, why hasn't that staffer been fired? Why hasn't Caroline Leavitt been fired? If this was horrible racism and Trump and the White House do not stand behind it, then you've got to fire the woman who stood behind it. Caroline Leavitt came out and mocked. She didn't just defend it. The blonde White House spokeswoman, the one who claims to be a Christian, she didn't just defend this horrific racism. She came out and mocked people. She mocked those Republican senators. She mocked those African Americans and black people who were offended, and white people who were offended by this. Okay. If she came out and literally mocked people for being offended about this, then why hasn't she been fired? She defended what the White House is now claiming is horrific racism that they would never embrace. But they did embrace it. Their spokeswoman embraced it. And a staffer, first of all, we know it was Trump, please. But a staffer supposedly sent the tweet out. Why wasn't that staffer fired? Why hasn't Caroline Leavitt been fired? Yeah. Inquiring minds want to know, don't we? Still no comment from Donald Trump. Big surprise. Hakeem Jeffries put out a really, really, really strong comment about Trump. Hakeem Jeffries is the Democratic leader of the House of Representatives. I'm going to read you this with a little bit of care. I want to get TikTok upset at me. Hakeem Jeffries, quote, "The disgusting video posted by the so-called president was done intentionally," Jeffries said. He said the word Donald Trump and his vile, racist, and malignant behavior, Jeffries said. "This guy is an unhinged bottom feeder," Jeffries said. I have to say that because TikTok gets very confused when I quote people like the Democratic leader of the House of Representatives. So I have to throw that in so TikTok doesn't get confused. President Obama and Michelle Obama are brilliant, caring, and patriotic Americans. They represent the best of this country. It's time for John Toon, Mike Johnson, and Republicans to denounce this serial fraudster who is sitting at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue pretending to be the president of the United States, Hakeem Jeffries said. I want to read you something else as well. This was a tweet by, I think he's a European. I follow him. I don't know who he is. He's one of those people where, you just don't know who he is. But he's very good. Oops. Hang on a second. Oh. That's annoying. Shit. What? Shit. Sorry. The pharmacy called me about Sasha's prescription I need. Of course, they're going to be closed. Hold on a second. Let me see. We ordered it. We cannot order this medication, so just trying to contact your doctor. See, they can send it to either another pharmacy or they can send an alternative. Shit. All right. 1 second here. I'm going to have to order this from. Mind if I do this really quick? Because I want to get her medicine, and it's not going to come quickly here. All right, let me get this 1 sec here. Sorry, guys. Dog comes first. That's what I'm doing. You know what's funny? I had the Chewy page open, which I'm kind of shocked that I had the Chewy page open because I didn't realize that. But I had the Chewy page open. Looking here. Vet info. They're not going to get the vet info in time. Let me see here. Are they giving me options for flat rate shipping? I guess I don't get options for shipping it faster, although Chewy comes pretty fast. Yeah, I'm going to place the order. Hopefully they'll call my vet. All right. Sorry, guys. Yep, there we go. Okay, shoot. Yeah, there's Sasha's close this. Where is this? YouTube. I'm trying to find you again. My dog has been limping and having some problems with her legs, and she's very old, 16. So the vet is putting her on Rimadyl. But they were going to send it to my pharmacy, and my pharmacy thought they could do it, but now they can't. So I wanted to get that order in. So at least it's maybe it'll arrive next week or something, because she's okay right now, but she was not doing well. Well, if you don't care, you're going to leave, Owl, because if you don't care, that makes you kind of inhuman. And then it makes people say, why are you here? If you don't care about dogs in pain, do you actually care about people in pain? People kind of wonder those things. That was kind of rude. It's too bad you're getting blocked right now by the mods and never coming back. Oh, so sad. That's what we really don't care about. So, yeah, mods, get them. I was just going to say lately I like dogs more than people. Yeah. Yeah, I'll look at Costco too. I don't know that Costco, actually, I don't think Costco does. Costco did. I looked at Costco. There is a pet pharmacy that Costco's associated with. It wasn't cheaper than Chewy. I was surprised. I thought it'd be cheaper than Chewy. It was like the same. It wasn't cheaper for some of the stuff I was looking at. And for this, $25 a month or whatever it is, or a month or two, not the end of the world. I think it's 25. Yeah. Or $20 a month, which, again, not a big deal. So anyway, all right, let's keep going here. So where is the, yes, I was going to find you. So this was written, I'm going to read you a lot of this. This was written by a European. I believe he's a European. He's very good. He goes by the name Gandalf with a V, Gandalf, on Twitter. And he's just a very good writer. And he wrote something which I think is very interesting. I want to read this for you, okay? So I know getting blocked for not just getting blocked for a lack of empathy, getting blocked for a lack of empathy about dogs in pain. Like you gotta be pretty bad if you get upset because someone else is upset about a dog in pain. I mean, like, really? All right, listen to this. This is responding to Trump's latest racist tirade about the Obamas. The video should unsettle anyone who takes the United States seriously as a nation, but it exposes something dangerous: the trivialization of the world's most consequential office. It shows how carelessly the power, credibility, and accumulated moral authority of a superpower can be squandered for a few seconds of viral attention. In any other democracy, this behavior from a head of state would trigger a constitutional crisis. Paris would burn. Berlin would convene emergency sessions. In the Nordic countries, resignation would follow within hours. He's talking about Trump's racist tweet today about the Obamas, depicting them as monkeys. Across functioning democracies, the public, institutions, and political class would recognize this for what it is: an assault on the dignity of the state itself. Leaders are not free to perform as entertainers without consequence. National honor is not personal property. It's held in trust. He says the presidency is not a personal broadcast channel. It is a symbol carried on behalf of 340 now actually million people and countless international partners who never voted, but whose lives are shaped by American decisions anyway. Every post either reinforces or erodes the idea that America can be counted on when it matters most. So the question is no longer whether this is offensive. The question is whether this is who America chooses to be. A nation that trades a century of hard-won reputation for viral moments, a country that replaces statecraft with content creation, a republic governed like a season of reality television. History offers a harsh lesson here. Great powers don't fall because enemies mock them. They collapse when they begin mocking themselves, publicly, proudly, and without grasping the cost until it's far too late. I thought that was great. Thank you, Cody, for the hamster. I just thought that was a really good thing. But it really is true, because think about it. And he's right about that. France, my God. The French, I mean, if the price of bread goes up, the French are rioting in the streets. I mean, burning tires on cars. I mean, like crazy. For us, it would be crazy stuff. The guy goes by Gandalf with a V. So Gandalf on Twitter. Don't know who he is. Seems to be European. Don't know who he is. But yeah, the French would go nuts. And he's right about that. Any European country with a president or a prime minister acting like this, they would have gotten rid of him. We don't not just get rid of him. We get upset, but we all act like it's kind of normal in the way that, I mean, we get outraged, but even for us, right? Even for us, we're not on the streets. People in Minneapolis are on the streets, but we're not, right? I mean, when you think about it, I mean, I fault myself for that, right? But thank you, Cody. But I mean, I kind of fault myself for that, right? Because it is true. Like, we're all upset with each other, or we're upset not with each other, but we're upset talking to each other about this. But we're not on the streets. You know, the Minneapolis people are. The Oregon people are. But it's true. Like, I really say there's an element of, obviously Republicans support this and the racism and everything he's doing, but we do too, in a way, you know, because as Americans, what are we doing to stop it? What are we doing to stand up to it? I mean, again, I'm not sure what we do to some degree, but I do know when I read Europeans talking about it, he's right about that. You'd have millions of Europeans on the streets losing their minds if their leader did the stuff that Trump did, let alone the corruption and the graft and the grift and all that kind of stuff, right? Billions of dollars. Imagine a European leader making billions of dollars his first couple months in office. Imagine him taking $180 million bribe 4 days before he gets signed in, or sworn in as leader. I mean, my God, the French especially, the French would, like, you'd be gone if you tried that in France. Very bad stuff. JD Vance. So good news. Thank you, Susan. JD Vance got booed at the Olympics today. Some of the reporters were saying in 22 years of covering the Olympics, they have never seen anyone get booed. It was the opening ceremonies. The U.S. athletes came by. They panned to a picture of JD Vance and his wife in the stands, and the entire audience started booing. Then they showed the athletes and they cheered again, which was kind of nice. So the world cheered for our athletes and booed J.D. Vance, who was representing the American government at the games. Again, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen at the Olympics. You don't get booed. We got booed. J.D. Vance got booed. Which good. Europe hates us, by the way. New poll out. Europe hates us. I'm going to read you some of the numbers. European opinion towards the U.S. All right. Great Britain. Let me see here. Great Britain consistently, around 50% approval, around 30%, 30 to 40% disapproval until you hit Donald Trump. So we've gone from 50% approval to 64% disapproval in Great Britain, and 50% approval to around 25% approval. Okay. Denmark, we've gone from, during the Biden years, almost 60% approval to 84% disapproval. France, during the Biden years, around 50% approval to 62% disapproval. Germany, during the Biden years, again, 50% approval to around 72% disapproval. Italy, around 50% approval to 63% disapproval. Again, we're talking Biden to Trump. And Spain, Biden, again, around 50% approval, Trump, 66% disapproval. They hate us. Yeah. The thing that gets me is you will hear Republican politicians put out these lies about how we don't care what the Europeans think, right? They always like to attack the Europeans, freedom fries, right? They love to attack the Europeans. But you guys may not hear this because it's what they do domestically. They love to talk about how we are finally respected around the world. The world finally looks up to us. They finally respect us. And it's like, they hate us. They don't look up to us, and they do not respect us. The world does not respect us. When Republicans are in charge, and not all Republicans, but when Donald Trump is in charge, they don't respect us. But it's interesting because the Republicans will attack Europe, and then at the same time they'll turn around and say, "Look how much Europe likes us," and we're like, "Well, which one is it?" But they really think, and of course they lie, and people believe them when they say, "Oh yes, the world respects us now." Some dictators respect us because they paid for it, right? Like Dubai and UAE, they paid for it, so they're. I wouldn't call it really respect. Do you respect someone you pay for a relationship? I can't say much more than that, but I'm not sure respect is the word I would use for that relationship. It's transactional, that's for sure. ICE lied about shooting another man in the back. This continues a long trend of the Trump administration lying about using violence. Listen to this one. Where is this? I hope I grabbed the whole thing. Did I? Oh, shoot. I didn't grab the quote. Let me see if I've got the quote here. This one. Hold on. I would see if I've got the quote on this one. We found out in court that ICE lied. Oh, I know this one. This is the one where ICE shot the guy. We talked about this. Remember? ICE said we had to shoot him. He was attacking me with a shovel. Remember we talked about the shovel because it was a shovel and a broom. And we talked about it, and I was like, how do you use a broom to attack somebody? Like a witch? Like a broom, right? And a shovel, I said, okay, a shovel, I guess. A shovel would hurt. But a broom? They lied about the shovel. What the FBI testified and said he was not using a shovel to attack the ICE guy. In fact, he had dropped the shovel and was running away. The guy was running away and they shot him in the back. Yeah. Which means, once again, ICE lied about another shooting, which they have done repeatedly. And we've talked about this. Homeland Security and ICE, they lie. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Susan. We didn't discover for a while that gift, the dragon gift, has flame coming out of the mouth if you turn sideways. So thank you for that. But yeah, no consequences, of course, no, but they lie. And what that means is don't believe them. The whole U.S. government doesn't lie. This administration lies. Generally speaking, the U.S. government does not lie. This administration lies. It's different. What else we got here? There's a good amount of news today. Oh, a pardoned January 6th insurrectionist is going to prison again for threatening to kill Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic leader of the House of Representatives. You'll recall that Donald Trump pardoned him and 1,500 other insurrectionists, and then he threatened to kill the top Democrat in the House of Representatives. There's a surprise. The visitor brochures are returning to the Medgar Evers Home and Museum after an outcry. Again, big surprise. Someone got the football. Thank you, Diana. Touchdown party. I was kind of thinking, I'm not a sports guy, but it is Super Bowl weekend. Although a bunny gift would be funny for Bad Bunny. But thank you for that. The big story yesterday was the Trump administration had basically ordered the removal of a brochure at a civil rights memorial. It's not complicated, but I want to explain this story because it matters. And again, in the context of what they did presenting the Obamas as monkeys, keep in mind, this is Black History Month. February is Black History Month. And this is an important thing in Black history. Medgar Evers was a Black civil rights leader. He was brutally murdered in the early 1960s. Mississippi, where he was murdered, did not try his murderer in court for 31 years or so. It took them 30 years to take the guy to court who murdered him. The guy who murdered him was a Ku Klux Klansman. He had also set bombs to kill Jewish people. He did go to jail for trying to blow up Jewish people, which is good. But he did not go, they didn't even try him for murdering a Black civil rights leader. They finally try him, they convict him. There's a memorial, a museum set up at Medgar Evers' home in Mississippi to educate people about this murder of a Black civil rights leader by the Ku Klux Klansmen, okay? The Trump administration was upset that the museum referred to the Ku Klux Klansman murderer as a racist. So they removed the brochure from the museum because, among other things, it called the KKK guy a racist. Thank you. Interesting timing. Oh, the bunny. Thank you. I was like, why is she putting a bunny on my head? Thank you, Heather and Susan. It's for Bad Bunny. That's true. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Unbelievable. Well, there was such an outcry, they brought the pamphlet back. So the pamphlet that calls the murderer a racist is now back, at least. But again, hey, James in Germany, this is the kind of stuff. This is the kind of stuff we're dealing with here. Is we're dealing with an administration that thinks we're being too mean to Klansmen. I mean, really, that they shouldn't be called racists. Really. I mean, again, the snowflake concept that they accuse Democrats of, that we're too worried about people's feelings. They're not. They're just worried about the feelings of Klansmen who murdered African Americans, which is really a horrific thing. Anyway, we're going to talk about the Clintons in a bit. We're going to talk about the Clintons. Thank you for the dog there. Who's that? Sarah. Thank you. Good timing on the dog thing too, Sarah. Thank you. Oh, you're right. You. She wipes out occasionally. Oh, I hadn't seen that one before. What the hell was that? That was from Carrie. Thank you, Carrie. I have not seen that gift before. That was very funny. I like that. It also lasts a while too, which is cool. Thank you for that. So what else we got? Oh yeah. I don't remember I don't think we talked about this last night. I think either this happened at the end of the show. No, the show was over when I saw this story. Trump, you may recall, Trump is canceling or freezing $16 billion with a B, $16 billion in transportation projects for tunnel and bridge and tunnel and this kind of stuff in New York. He's doing it to punish New York for voting Democratic in the presidential election. He claims he's doing it because the bridge and tunnel project is DEI. It had civil rights protections built into the project, right? He claims. He's lying, but okay. Well, thank you, Patty. Thank you. Trump now is saying, and he told Chuck Schumer, who's the Democratic leader in the Senate. Okay, so keep in mind, Trump he stopped a $16 billion transportation project for New York because the New Yorkers voted for a Democrat. He claims he froze it because he's concerned the project, protects African Americans or something, right? Has civil rights protections, and he doesn't want civil rights protections in the project. Okay. Again, bull, but whatever. Now he says he doesn't care if the project protects black people or whatever, if it has DEI. Mind you, his whole administration's been built on this whole DEI stuff, right? About being anti-civil rights, right? Medgar Evers, right? The Obamas, going after them. Trump now says it's okay if he froze the project because it had DEI. He now says he'll release the project even if it has DEI, so long as Democrats are willing to rename our airport the Donald Trump Airport, and Penn Station in New York, which is the big bus and train station, rename it the Trump Station in New York. I kid you not. He's extorting Democrats. He has frozen a massive transportation project in New York because he wants his name on an airport and a bus terminal, or he's not going to help millions of Americans with a transportation project. And as I said, this also shows that the DEI thing is total bull as well, because he claimed he was freezing the project because it was DEI. But now he's not saying, thank you, Annie. He didn't say, oh, the DEI thing's done. He said, I'll unfreeze it if you name the airport after me and you name the bus station. And by the way, they'd better not. I mean, literally, let the funds be cut at this point. This is where Democrats need to stand firm. This is where all of us can pay. If it requires him cutting our projects, then so be it. But I would make clear, as Democrats should, make clear we're keeping count, and as many billions in projects that are frozen in Democratic states are going to be frozen in Republican states the next time we take over. And just make that clear and say, that's fine. But some Republican states just lost $16 billion in projects for the next 2 years. So just be aware of that, right? Really amazing. What else we got? The Trump tweeted an insane tweet about the election. TikTok doesn't like us talking about election stuff. But I'm just going to read Trump's tweet because I doubt TikTok gets upset about Donald Trump. God knows. Listen to this from Donald Trump yesterday. America's elections, Donald Trump says, are rigged, stolen, and a laughingstock all over the world, Donald Trump says. We are either going to fix them, Donald Trump says, or we won't have a country any longer, Donald Trump says. I am asking all Republicans to fight for the following. Save America Act. All voters must show voter ID, Donald Trump says. All voters must show proof of U.S. citizenship to register for voting, Donald Trump says. And this one, no mail-in ballots, Donald Trump says, except for illness, disability, military, or travel. Two things going on here. One, America's elections are not rigged, stolen, and a laughingstock all over the world. He's literally lying. I mean, literally lying. Anybody can Google this for themselves. Look it up. He's lying. U.S. has some of the safest elections in the world. There was one study that looked back like 20 years, I think, and they looked at millions of ballots cast. Millions of ballots. No, excuse me, not millions. Billions of ballots passed because it was 20 years of ballots. And what they found was something like, I can't remember how many billions of ballots were passed, or they found that maybe there were 50 or 100 like fraudulent ballots out of billions over 20 years. Yeah. He claims illegal immigrants are voting. No, they're not. They're not. A, they can't register. And B, every time there's been a study done, they don't find them. One of the big studies they did, remember, I think it was 2020. Remember 2020 because he freaked out about that, and did a study of one of the elections because they thought a bunch of people illegally voted. They found it was like 4 Republicans who illegally voted. That was it. It doesn't happen. But here's the thing. How the hell do you know? Frankie, buddy, girl, how you doing? So here's how, in the real world, here's how it works, Frankie. For you to allege something's happening, you've got to actually prove it. You can't say, well, I can't prove that this thing exists, but how do you know it doesn't exist? You know how I know? Because for 20 years, they studied it. They studied all the elections of the last 20 years, and they found no fraud. They found literally 50 incidents of fraud, which out of 1 billion ballots is nothing. They never found an election where there was any significant, in America, there has never been an election where there has been any significant fraud, significant at all. You know how we know? Because they've looked for it. Do you think, here's the thing, do you really think Donald Trump and the Republicans haven't been trying to find fraud? You don't, I mean, do you honestly think they're not trying? Right? Right? I mean, come on. Right. Oh, thank you for the butterfly. That butterfly looks like he's attacking me, though, doesn't he? Thank you. Thank you, Terry. I mean, I'm glad he trolled right now because it just reminded me of that. We know because Republicans have been trying to find the proof. I mean, what they're trying to ban absentee ballots, saying that, and Trump says that our elections are lots of thieves stealing the election. You don't think he's tried to find proof of that? You don't think after 2020 they tried to find proof? Of course they did. They lost 60 of the 61 court cases trying to prove that the elections were stolen. They couldn't find it. They couldn't find our elections are safe in America. How do we know? Because it's been studied again and again, even by the Republicans studied it, even Donald Trump studied it, and he couldn't find any. That's how we know. So in the future, if someone's trying to tell you something's true, you should ask them, how do you know that? And you shouldn't say, well, it might be true, even though there's no proof. No. If there's no proof of something, then it means it's probably not true. Or you should certainly never believe something's true if there's no proof, clearly. Thank you for the fireworks there, Gene. All right, what else we got here? Trump lied. Trump went to the prayer breakfast. Thank you, Blue. Trump went to the prayer breakfast and lied the other day. This was pretty funny. So they have the prayer breakfast every year in Washington, really. Oh, thank you for the wings there, Cindy. Every year, I'm saying wing from Cindy's gift. Every year they have the prayer breakfast, and politicians, Democrats and Republicans get together and they have a breakfast and they give prayers and they have preachers. Trump, of course, got up there and attacked Democrats because that's who he is. No one does that at the prayer breakfast. The prayer breakfast is about Democrats and Republicans coming together to worship God. Trump is the only president in history who went there to attack the other party. Nonetheless, Trump's claimed his bona fides to prove how good he is on Christianity. Trump told a story of something he did. He lied. He didn't do it. Oh, dog wants water. 1 second. All right, you. Only because you haven't been feeling well will I give you water in the middle of my show. Right? Okay, here you go. So Trump claimed to prove his bona fides. He claimed the following, and it's a lie, and I'm going to tell you why. This is from Daniel Dale, who's CNN's fact checker. Trump says, I did that. Trump says. Yesterday at the National Prayer Breakfast, President Trump ad-libbed a Sir story about how, with just one phone call, he personally got Sudan to release a persecuted Christian from prison. But she was actually freed during the Obama administration in 2014, a year before Trump even became a candidate, more than 2 years before he became president. There is no sign he was responsible in any way. The White House wouldn't even try today to explain how Trump was responsible. CNN asked them and said, that's really interesting. Can you tell us more about how Trump was responsible for freeing the Christian from Sudan? The White House wouldn't even try. Like the White House would always say, you're this, you're that, right? We've got proof he did it last year. The White House wouldn't even try. He claimed credit for something Obama did. Donald Trump thought he was president in 2014. Even more importantly, I guess Donald Trump thought he was Barack Obama. Imagine if Joe Biden did that, right? What would they do if Joe Biden got confused, thought he was president in 2014, and thought he did something that Donald Trump did? Oh, the stories we would hear about that, right? Oh, the stories we would hear. Oh God, nasty European story. Financial Times. The U.S. government is going to fund MAGA-aligned think tanks and charities in Europe. The State Department will provide monetary grants to spread American values as part of Washington's 250th anniversary. They're going to be spending money, giving money to far-right fascist parties in Europe to upset your guys' democracies. You really, I mean, for us, we should be, because why the hell are we spending the money? But you guys need to, this is the stuff, again, you need to retaliate. Somebody said the EU should retaliate. You need to retaliate. Remember we talked about this with Greenland? And I said, he's not stopping this. They're not stopping. I said this with the tariffs too. The first round of tariffs, right? Those first round of tariffs. And I said, he's not stopping. He's going to keep attacking you. They're going to keep attacking you. And it's never going to stop. And now they're using money to finance, extremists in Europe. Basically far right. They're going to be far right. They're going to be fascist. God knows what else they're going to be. Your governments ought to go ballistic on this. I don't know how you do. I don't know how you punish them. You've got to find a way. I mean, this is, again, where you guys need to work with your own governments. You need to talk to your own politicians and say, this is outrageous. What can we do about it? It's also a question on how it's America first is a good question too. Why are they spending money on this, right? Why are they spending money on this? Yeah, no, and I know your guys far right people are already working with the Trump people, but still, right? It's just, oh man. Bill Clinton again today called for the full release of the Epstein files, the Jeffrey Epstein files. The Republican chairman is now saying, because the Republican chairman is having a hearing about Epstein, but he only wants to invite Bill and Hillary Clinton. He's not going to have any Republicans because he's trying to hang it all on Clinton. And the Clintons finally agreed to testify, but they said, let's testify publicly. The Republicans were like, no. Now Clinton says, I want, if you're not going to make it public, then at least film it and make public. The Republicans are planning on filming it, but they're not going to make the film public either. They want to film Bill Clinton basically so they can try to catch him lying or something, so they can get him on perjury at age 80. That's why they're filming him. They're not going to make the film public. We've got a lot of actually Epstein news today. Oh yeah, this is from CNN. CNN's Haley Britsky. Secretary of the Navy John Phelan, U.S. Secretary of the Navy, is named on a flight manifest found among millions of documents related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein that have been released in recent months, showing that he flew in 2006 from London to New York on Epstein's private plane. A close friend of Phelan's said it was the only interaction he ever had with Epstein and had been invited by another businessman on the flight. CBS says they've been asking the Navy about this for days, and the Navy is being non-responsive. Here's a thought. If you really didn't do anything with Jeffrey Epstein, if you were only on his plane 20 years ago because some friend of yours said, oh, I'm taking a private jet, there's an extra seat, do you want to go with? And you said, sure. Then you tell people that because the story's already public, right? If that's all that happened, why wouldn't the Secretary of the Navy say that? This is where, again, you get into the nuances of if somebody's being honest. I mean, the story's already out there. We know he flew on the plane according to the files. All sorts of things are going through our heads of what he did if he was on Jeffrey Epstein's planes. If the truth is he did nothing because he didn't know Jeffrey Epstein, right? He literally flew on the plane supposedly just because his friend was going and said, I've got an extra seat, and he didn't know whose plane it was. Why wouldn't he just say that? But he's not saying that. He's not saying that. The Navy isn't even responding. But again, the story is already out there. So why wouldn't the Navy respond and say, yeah, there's actually nothing to the story. He actually didn't know him. I mean, and again, if that's the truth, it's unfortunate you were on his plane. But if it's really the truth, why wouldn't you just, admit it, right? It's very, yeah, well, why? Why? What else we got? So this is really weird too. CBS had a very weird update today about Jeffrey Epstein. I want to read you this. Very weird. A couple paragraphs from the story about him dying in prison. He died in prison. A lot of people believed a conspiracy that somebody killed him. The investigation said he killed himself. There was some video missing. There was like a couple minutes of video missing, which didn't help. Obviously, considering everybody involved in this Epstein story, there were certainly a lot of really important people who he could get in trouble. Listen to this from CBS. Newly released Department of Justice documents show that investigators reviewing surveillance footage from the night of Jeffrey Epstein's death observed an orange-colored shape moving up a staircase towards the isolated locked tier where Epstein's cell was located at approximately 10:39 p.m., the night he died. They saw an orange shape, okay? Guess who dresses in orange in our prisons? Prison inmates dress in orange, okay? That entry in an observation log of the video from the Metropolitan Correction Center appears to suggest something previously unreported by authorities. Quote, a flash of orange looks to be going up to the L tier stairs. Could possibly be an inmate escorted up to that tier, says the report. This is from CBS. This is Department of Justice report, guys. It also appears, according to an FBI memorandum, I'm reading from CBS, that reviews by investigators led to disparate conclusions by the FBI and those examining the same video from the Department of Justice's Office of Inspector General. The FBI log describes the fuzzy image as possibly an inmate. FBI analysis of video footage describes possibly an inmate moving up the stairs. The Inspector General logs it as an officer, listen to this, an officer carrying orange linen or bedding, noting it in their final report as an unidentified corrections officer. Why is the bedding interesting? Let's get to that in a moment. Thomas and Noel, two of the corrections officers, failed to complete these are the corrections officers that were supposed to check in on Epstein, and they didn't. Failed to complete inmate counts at 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., as well as a mandatory 30-minute wellness checks of Epstein. Like every 30 minutes, they were supposed to check in. Investigators speculated the officers may have fallen asleep. Yes, both of them. Thomas told investigators, listen to this. Thomas told investigators he discovered Epstein in his cell shortly after 6:30 in the morning and that he ripped Epstein down from the hanging position. He was hanging. Investigators asked what happened to the noose. I don't recall taking the noose off. I really don't, he replied. I don't recall taking the thing from around his neck. Noel, who remained standing at the cell entrance, told investigators she saw Thomas lower Epstein to the floor, but did not see a noose around his neck. So both of them didn't see a noose on the guy that hung himself. The noose Epstein allegedly used has never been definitively identified. According to the Inspector General's report, a noose collected at the scene was later determined not to be used in Epstein's death. So some noose from somewhere hung him. No one has seen the noose. And at the same time, somebody was seen going up the stairs, an image in orange, which was either an inmate wearing orange or somebody carrying orange bedding. Orange bedding that you can use to do bad things. I don't buy into conspiracy theories. This is CBS News saying that this is very weird. That this is very weird. Good news. Poll, Rasmussen. Rasmussen is the Republican pollster who does ridiculous polls and always comes out with polls saying, everybody loves Donald Trump. Oh my God, he's doing great. And Trump loves Rasmussen because Rasmussen is always putting out polls talking about how great Trump is doing. The latest Rasmussen poll has Trump's disapproval at 57%, Trump's approval at 41%, a 16% difference. Thank you, Diana. That is a crazy number. That is a really bad polling numbers, but they're from Donald Trump's favorite pollster that loves to do positive stories about Donald Trump and positive polling about Donald Trump. So if a pollster who's biased and doing polls that favor Trump is giving Trump only a 41% approval and 57% disapproval, it likely means Trump is doing a lot worse. Yeah. And finally, another feel-good story. Finally, Bovino was kicked out of a bar in Vegas. So Bovino, the guy who was heading up ICE and Border Patrol, the murders and everything else they were doing in Minnesota, and he was heading up the whole thing. He was in charge. Actually, he was in charge of Border Patrol nationwide. Bovino got kicked out of a bar in Vegas. Former U.S. Border Patrol Commander-at-Large Greg Bovino was reportedly asked to leave a Las Vegas bar out of safety concerns for the venue's customers. Days after being removed from his post in Minneapolis, Bovino headed to Sin City, where he was spotted drinking wine at the multi-level Bottled Blonde sports bar on the Vegas Strip. A representative from the establishment told the Daily Beast that the 55-year-old officer is no longer welcome there. Quote, upon becoming aware of the individual's presence, the patron was asked to leave the premises and was escorted out by staff in accordance with venue policy to maintain a safe and orderly environment for all patrons. When you are too distasteful of a human being to even be admitted into a bar in Vegas, okay, you're too despicable of a human being for Vegas. That's pretty good. That's pretty damn good. And basically, the bar was afraid that he was, the bar said they were afraid that basically he was going to try to arrest patrons and scare people away. I don't blame people. I can imagine people in the bar go, are you kidding? Anybody who's Latino in that bar would be out of there. And probably the staff freaked out too. If they had Latino staff, I'd be totally freaked out if he was there. But I love that. Freaking love that. That was great. So yes, Bovino got kicked out of a bar in Vegas. Emil, they said it could have, I don't disagree with you, but the article said that it could have been somebody carrying stuff or whatever, John Kev, you're about to leave if that was meant to be a weird comment. Also, the fact that you're not spelling correctly makes me think you are being weird. Anyway, was Bovino not wearing a mask? Oh, that's a funny point. That's a very funny point. Thank you, Spider, for the gift. Appreciate that. Thank you. Anyway, thank you, Blue. Anyway. Oy. What's going on, guys? So we got another 15 minutes to hang, our usual. Remember, we've got our coffee talk tomorrow. So our hangout we do for the monthly supporters, the super fans. So anybody who's a monthly supporter, join us tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, U.S. We are doing well tonight. A lot of you guys are on TikTok tonight. Hello, TikTok. So yes, I do the show every night, Monday to Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern. We talk about the latest news. My background is, I'm going to adjust the lighting a little. My background is, I don't go too red. No, it's a little better. Is news, politics, law. Law degree from Georgetown. I've worked in the media. Was a stringer for The Economist. I've worked in politics forever. Live in Washington. I've worked in Washington forever. So I try to help people understand what's going on. Paranormal Activity was terrible. I thought there's not a new play, but a play out based on a former movie. Thank you, Blue. Called Paranormal Activity. I thought it sucked. People in the audience liked it. I thought it sucked. I went last night. Oh, thank you, Dawn. Oh, that's a cool gift. Thank you, Dawn. Appreciate that. So yeah, it was supposed to be about ghosts and stuff. I thought it was stupid. I'm not going to ruin it for you if any of you go, but it was stupid. I do not practice. I never have practiced. I have worked at law firms during school. Didn't like it, so I never practiced. I went straight into politics. A lot of law people do in the U.S. Yeah, that's what I heard. There's a whole series. I mean, the movies might be okay. I would watch the movie, but is the movie any good? The movie, you had to pay for it. I was like, only because I so hated the I thought the play was stupid. I thought the play was dumb. I mean, I don't want to ruin it for you guys, but it was just, there were parts scary because what it is? I think for me, I have a hard time I've always had a hard time getting into plays. I find I get into movies and TV more. So the idea that I'm going to watch a play and really think that there's a ghost in the room. Thank you, Zia. It's like, no, I'm at the Shakespeare Theater. There's no ghost on stage, right? Whereas for some reason, thank you, Sven. A lot of gifts coming in. Thank you, guys. For some reason, watching TV and movies, thank you, Zia, watching TVs and movies, I get more freaked out by the scary stuff. I don't know why. Right? Oh, will you stop, please? She wants her. I know. I see you. Hi, but you're not getting anything. It's a little early. My dog is doing her usual. She gets her treats at 7:30, so of course we have to spend the next half hour whining for her treats. Anyway, Olympics opening ceremony I did not see. I just saw the clip of JD Vance and Mrs. Vance getting booed, which that's a thumbs up. So, but yeah, as a play, I thought it was stupid. I just thought it was stupid. Again, I don't want to tell you what happened, but it's, there are problems. I mean, granted, I was going to say, like, in a stalker movie, a lot of stuff happens that isn't realistic, right? Like, I mean, what was that funny TV commercial once that had everybody where they're like, "Oh my God, there's a man with a chainsaw coming after us. Let's go hide in the shed that has all the power tools." "Oh my God, now he's coming after us in the shed. Let's not get into the car. Let's get into the car. No, don't do that. If we get into the car, right, let's go." And then something like, instead of driving away, right, they go somewhere else stupid. But that commercial, it was the funniest damn commercial, making fun of all the horror movies. But somehow the horror movies pull it off, where you watch them and you're like, "Get in the car and leave. What are you doing?" Right? Like, you actually feel it, even though they're doing stupid stuff. Well, in this play, there was like stupid stuff, and I wasn't believing it. I was just going, "This is a poorly written play." Hey, will you stop, please? It was just a poorly written play. Thank you, Diana, for the Super Bowl. So what do you do? I would not go. People in the audience liked it. They were all like, "Oh my God." And I'm like, "Oh God, please." I mean, I will tell you, like, at one point, a ghost rips its eyes or something, like, goes, and there's blood. And the crowd freaks out. And I'm kind of watching going, it's an actress on stage. She didn't actually rip her eyes out. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, literally, they freaked out. You're like, "Oh, come on." I mean, anyway, I was very underwhelmed. Yes. Yes. But I've noticed with plays, I have this issue with plays where I have a hard time. As an adult, I've had a hard time getting into plays. I like acting in plays, but I have a hard time getting into them psychologically. But I do. I don't know, but watch it, like TV shows and movies, the scary TV shows and movies. Oh yeah, they freaked me out for sure. I watched all those, like, those ghost hunter shows, which maybe they're fake. I don't know, but they used to freak me out. You know. Oh, thank you, Luis, for the old fighter hat. Anyway, what else, guys? What else? So yes, tomorrow morning we got our show for the monthly subscribers. I got my Greek class. I signed up again for my Greek class, so we're doing that again. I know it's good for me. It's good for me, so I hear you, dog. I know. What else, guys? So yeah, we can talk about anything you want. So this is a part of the show where I've already gone through the news. So whatever you want to talk about, pick a story. We can talk about it. My level in Greek is intermediate. I sometimes consider my Greek to be early intermediate. Sometimes it's intermediate. It is not expert. It is not fluent, but it's not beginner. So, but it's still difficult for me to express myself in Greek. You know what I mean? Like, there's too many words I still don't know, but it depends. Like, I can get by. I won't go hungry in Greece. You know what I mean? And I can do directions. I mean, I can do lots of stuff, but having a conversation about too much gets hard, Then but you type it well. Oh, thank you, Annie. He's Snow Miser. That was cool. Thank you. I've not seen that before. Oh, Trump could go after Iran. I mean, that's a good point. We kind of forgot about Iran, I did not grow up speaking Greek fluently, so to speak. I went to Greece. I studied Greek as a kid because we had to at my generation. But I went to Greece in graduate school. I went to Greece for 4 months and learned it fluently because I'm good at languages. And I'd studied it before, but 4 months was enough for me to be pretty fluent. But that was, 40 years ago, practically 40 years ago. I can't believe it was that long ago. So like it just slipped away, and I speak other languages better, which only makes it harder. Like my French, Actually, my French, Spanish, and my Italian are all better than my Greek. Not to brag, but I am. But that makes Greek harder because your better languages kind of crowd out the lesser languages. They do. So anyway, I'm gonna yawn again. Stop at me. Stop yawning. Hey. Spanish in high school, yeah. My nephew does not do well in languages. What would I have done if I didn't do politics? Boy, I mean, I would have loved to have gone into I always get it mixed up. Would it be paleontology? Like study of dinosaurs would have made me very happy. That would have no, I don't know whether the career would have worked. You know what I mean? Because like the careers are not easy, right? They're always having to raise money and that kind of stuff. But I love dinosaurs and I love science. I mean, I will say, like, I love science. I like astronomy, but I still am not convinced. Like, I don't think I'd have the math for astronomy. I mean, I was very good at math, but I would not want to do that level. I did like 3 semesters of calculus. I never wanted to do math after that. I don't know I'd studied Portuguese a little bit in graduate school, but then I stopped and it kind of flitted away. Yeah, archaeology. Archaeology overall I like, but like dinosaur archaeology I like. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Diana. We should get a dinosaur. It wasn't you, Robert. Who's our dinosaur person? I always think it's this Robert, but or is it the other Robert? There was a Robert who was our dinosaur guy. But I keep forgetting. Was it you? I don't know if Robert's still here today. I think it's the other Robert. I mean, I still got his card. I don't know whether he'd come. I don't know whether he could come on a show. I should reach out to him and see. Oh, Daniela, you're an archaeologist? You like science? Oh, but you're not the dinosaur Robert. Okay. I've got his card. I mean, so remember, he was the one that got me the really cool, very sweet, got me some dinosaur bones and stuff, which is really cool. Ross Geller, exactly. But I would enjoy that actually. Like getting different people from different disciplines. It's not you, okay? It's a different Robert. But I've got his, like I said, I've got his card. But I've got different. I mean, I would enjoy getting different people from different. Sasha, come on. I would enjoy getting different people from different fields of study, even if it has nothing to do with politics. I mean, we're going to do it anyway with hi, I know, hi, I know. Oh, thank you for the puppy, Jocelyn. I know I'm trying to get my dog. She's licking my hand now because she's being very needy. What was I saying? Manda wanted to do forensic anthropology. I mean, I've always loved science. Always loved science. They used to break the plates. Funny. I know, ordered from Chewy, but not a toy. Of course, now the vet, I'm probably gonna have to tell the vet. I probably have to call the vet in the morning if they're open to tell them too. Hold on. Remind me at 9:45 a.m. to call the vet. Okay, I added call them. Okay, yeah, because I've got to remember to. To remind them that I'm not getting the. Oh, there we go. Good. All right. I've got to remember to remind them that I couldn't get the delivery at the pharmacy across the street, even though they thought they could get it. So I need to have them do Chewy instead. I know I should have ordered a toy. Thank you, Heather, for the dinosaur. But yeah, no, I always loved science, but it's too bad. Like undergraduate really turned me off of science. I was an honors biology major at University of Illinois. It was like, it's a school of like 30,000, 40,000 people. And there were only like, 18 of us or something in the honors biology major, like for each year. It was like a big deal. And I loved biology up until then. I hated it. And I mean, it's kind of amazing to me how it probably was a mistake going to, now that I think about it, it probably was a mistake going to Illinois. I mean, because like we had a lot of big classes that I hated, but even this was a small class, hated it. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Mario. Oh, Paula got it. That's nice. Oh, excellent, Paula. You got the free gift membership for a month from Mario. Thank you, Mario. Excellent. We like Paula. But it kind of sucks though that they turned me away from science because science was always my number one love. Always. Biology especially. Always. But again, like physics, I love physics, but it would be too hard. Again, the math involved, I think, would have just been too hard. And physics itself, I never felt like I had a physics. Physics felt like accounting to me. It was always the opposite of what I thought. Like, pick the direction of the force. And I'm like, that way. No, it's this way. And accounting's the same way. I'm like, what column? It goes in this column. No, it goes in this column because it's really a negative. Why is it a negative if it's money coming in? It just is. That's what it felt like to me. Was that kind of physics felt the same way. It just was always the opposite of what I would say. Clearly, I did not have good teachers. Clearly. It bums me out because I loved science so much. I took I can't even think. God, how many did I take at once? I don't even remember. Although I think I took, honors biology and honors chemistry my senior year. I took them all. I took honors physics. I took, everything. I loved it. And they just made me hate it all in college. What do I do now? I do politics. I do this. Politics, media. I've been doing politics and media and everything for like 40 years, 35, 40 years now, which is fine. I'm good at it. I like it. I care about it. But there's a part of me that kind of feels like it would have been nice to travel the world and dig up old things and figure them out and come up with theories about honestly, you know what the other thing is? The other thing I always wanted to do was be a spy. Not be a spy, but work for the CIA, but not as a spy. I don't want to go undercover and stuff, but I want to look at documents and data and crunch it and look for patterns and figure out what people are doing, looking at disconnected data, because I'm very good at being an analyst. Exactly. I've always been very good at that. I do it a lot for the world. Actually, even with you guys, that's what I do. That's what I do. This show is me looking at things from all over the place and pulling them together to try to explain what's going on. That's what I love. I've always loved it. Ex-CIA, if he's a good ex-CIA guy, he'd be very interesting. The guy you follow on here, because so that I admit that's something too, where I'm like, it would have been nice, but oh well. Journey to the Center of the Earth. I don't remember. I know the movie, but it's so old. I don't remember anymore. I don't know. I don't remember anymore. Your comments can get filtered out, Mike, because you're using some word that for some reason is in the filter. TikTok's, YouTube's got its own filter. We've got some words, but YouTube has its own filter. So ex-CIA, who's the ex-CIA guy on TikTok? I follow some really good ex-CIA guys on Twitter, and they're really good. You can tell they're very smart. They're very, boom, boom, boom. But who knows? If I worked for an agency like that, would I have been able to rise to a level where I could have done cool stuff? Who knows? You never know. So, that's all right. If you remember, let me know who the guy is, the ex-CIA guys on TikTok. But I said, I follow some good ones on Twitter. What else? Well, the thing is, they're trained in a certain way of thinking, right? Do I think Dems are doing enough to fight for us? Oh, John Kiriakou. I know that name. Yeah. I probably know him from Twitter, I'm going to say, because I know that name. Yeah. Let me give the dog a little bit more water. 1 second here. 1 second, dog. All right. You know what? I'll even give you. Let's give you your treat too, since you're being whiny. All right, here. Oh, there you go. All right. 1 second here. 1 second here. All right. Opa. There you go. All right. Okay. There we go. She got her small treat. She's happier now. She's happier now. Alexa, set the temperature to 71. I'll make sure it's not too good. All right. My Amazon packages are downstairs. I'll have to go and get them in a minute. It's funny for Sasha because one of the pills she's on is gabapentin, and it's annoying as hell because it's powdered. And I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? It's powdery. Like, good luck getting, powder, and like it's in caplets that pull apart, but then it's a powder that I've got to put on the plate and separate it into two. And I was telling my sister about it today, and I mentioned, you feel like you're doing something illicit, right? Like, and she goes, get razors. And I thought, oh my God. Because I used to have, I can't find my safety razor, or it's not safety, but razors that have the one end safe. So I just had them delivered on Amazon. God bless Amazon sometimes. I mean, I know he's evil, but so my safety razors arrived so I can finally split Sasha's medicine. But I was like, oh, that's a really good idea. I didn't think of that, using the razor to kind of like the bad people. Peel cutter doesn't work. It's literally two pieces of plastic that come together and there's powder inside. You've got to open it up and it's filled with powder. You've got to cut the powder in two. It's crazy. Yeah. So it's done, Junior. Oh, don't say that. But a pill cutter won't. I have a pill cutter. It won't help for this. It's powder. Yogurt. I told you, yogurt is what I figured out finally. I was using peanut butter to mix the powder, and it was a mess. And all of a sudden, I thought the yogurt is so much easier. There is no. She takes half of it. That's the problem. Even if it was full, maybe I could put peanut butter and she'd fall for it. But she takes half. So if she's not feeling well, the vet said give her. Anyway, we are trying Rimadyl because the other one I don't think is working well enough. So we're going to try Rimadyl, which eventually will, once it comes from Chewy, and then I'm trying the other substance that has 3 letters that we don't want to talk about on TikTok. But it has 3 letters that can be calming, or in this case, the oil can apparently help inflammation for arthritis and things. So I talked to the vet and she said, yeah, you can try it. So I was like, all right. And I found a place that's good. So burger cheese. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, no, that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. It can help. So I'm like, you know what? I mean, she's doing well today, but I saw the last couple of days she was not, and I felt terrible. Both legs were bothering her, and I was like, oh my God. The vet was funny too, because the vet said, she's having some knee issues too. She goes, both of her knees are 3 or 4 out of 4 in terms of the luxating patella, whatever they call it, or ACL, whatever the hell it is. And I was like, yeah, well. She goes, I mean, she is 16, and she also has a heart flutter now too. It's not a bad one, but it's there. And she goes, she does have the knee problem. But she does have, the heart flutter, heart murmur. And I'm not sure, I'm not totally comfortable doing surgery with the heart murmur. And I went, she's 16. So we're not doing knee replacement surgery on a 16-year-old dog. I didn't say, are you insane? But I'm like, are you insane? I'm lucky she's 16 at this point. She's a dog. Like, they don't live to be 16. I mean, the little ones can, but I love that the main reason she thought maybe we don't do, mind you, this surgery could be like $6,000, $10,000. The main reason we don't do the $10,000 surgery is the dog has a heart murmur. How about she's 16? Is that why, Liz? Okay, fair enough. Well, no, but what I thought was interesting, maybe that's why too for you guys. Maybe you guys don't want to suggest, she is old for doing something like this. It may not add much to their life. I just would have I think, look, to me, it feels, I'd want to hear, I'd want to hear a little more from the vet than just that. Although maybe, you know what too? Maybe that's the vet's nice way of telling me not to do the surgery, because maybe it's too mean to say, look, she's 16. You're really going to spend $5,000 to $10,000 on knee surgery. Maybe that's too mean, right? I mean, no, but seriously, because maybe like the person thinks, yeah, but am I bad not to spend the money? Right. Versus, I don't know if it's totally safe to do it. Then you go, okay. Okay, fair enough. Now I'm feeling better for the vet. Fair enough. But I just laughed because I literally said to her, well, in addition to that, she's 16. I'm like, I said, no, I love her, but how much more use is she going to get out of new knees at 16? Yeah, stem cell treatment, exactly. No, I mean, people will, but my God, it's, yeah. I mean, no. I mean, I don't ever want her to go. You know what I mean? But if she were 12, then it would be interesting. You know what I mean? Because then you're kind of like in this weird middle zone of if she's 12, she could live to be 18 or she could live to be 13. Do you spend the money? Oh my God. Right. Um, but oh my God, I had I forget what the surgery was. Actually, it was the eye surgery, or not eye, but she had like a growth on her eyelid that was really weird. And the vet said it's not dangerous, but it's on her eyelid and it's going to eventually bother her and interfere and this. So he goes, we've got to get rid of it. And then he said there are a couple warts and things we might as well remove. Oh my God. I mean, that first night, it was horrible. By the time the pain, like you and me, by the time the painkiller started wearing off, the extra painkiller wasn't enough. And she was whining, but she was whining in pain. I had like, 18 hours of listening to my dog whine in pain like whimper all night. Oh, it was horrible. It was like a skin tag or something was on her eyelid. But it's just, I mean, hell, now you want to play. Hello. You guys have got her over here on YouTube. She's suddenly, hello. What? What are we doing? I think somebody's feeling better. Someone's feeling better here, I think. Hi. Hello. She came running up and doing that things dogs do when they come up and they kind of jump on their feet like, let's play. I know. Hi. Again, I can't, there's nothing to play with her with because she won't play when I try to get her to play, which is very annoying. She's barking at the TV. Oh, she couldn't see Sasha. Sasha was too small to be seen, I would think. Anyway, all right, it's 7:20, guys. I think I'm going to get going. I'm going to take her downstairs, go check my Amazon mail. I know she's still at home. Well, she's funny because like even today, even this week, she wasn't walking well. I mean, she walked, but both legs were kind of up, uncomfortable. But then I took her down the block a little bit and back. We come upstairs in our hallway. She runs down the hall. And I'm like, you're limping down the street, making me feel horrible and running down the hallway. It's just like, they're funny. They're very funny. I mean, they are stoic though. Dogs, they always say that, well, which is also why dogs, if you really hear them whimpering, then they are in pain, but very hard, Anyway. All right. Yeah, maybe Paul. It's funny though. All right, guys, have a good night. Thank you for joining us. So tomorrow morning, remember for the paid monthly subscribers, that would be the super fans on TikTok, and the rest of you know who you are. We're doing the show at 11 a.m. Eastern for you guys, so join us, please. We hang out, we talk about whatever topic we want. So I'm going to adjust this again. Exactly, burp. So, all right, guys, have a good night. I'm going to sign off one by one here like we always do. Discord, thank you. Amanda, good to see you. All right, Discord, say ya. Boom. All right. And I got to make sure I set up my YouTube for tomorrow since I accidentally started it early. All right. Good night, guys. I started the YouTube video like